eguard, that just like bottomed out. Good morning, story chasers. Over here at Starbucks. It's one of those days. I've got my Starbucks in hand, and yeah, had a good night though last night. Stayed in the Cabela's. It's beautiful outside, much cooler than it has been since I've been. Where was that? Great Falls. It was like, oh my god, almost 90 degrees there for 2 days in a row. So it was nice to have the cooler weather. But today is a work day, so a lot of you guys like to know how I manage to balance travel and work at the same time. And well, work for me is putting together these vlogs and videos and creating content for you guys. And I also still have clients that I work with from my past position where I was doing acquisitions and dispositions. So today's a work day for me. I traveled a lot yesterday and I got a lot of work done last night, but I still have a lot to do before I hit the road into parts of Canada that just don't have really good cell service. So I'm at the Starbucks siphoning off Wi-Fi from them. So I'm one row, if you can see, one row back from the building, and Wi-Fi is coming through pretty strongly. I don't need it too much today because I'm editing, but I will need it occasionally to answer emails and things like that. So yeah, work day, and then I'm headed over to a friend's house. He's another Heimer owner. Met him at our Heimer meetup this last winter. And so what are you doing here? This is Mark Wiley.
The sliding door.
Hey,
this is door number 13.
Really good guy. So you guys will be meeting him later on this evening. He's allowing me to mooch dock at his house, just outside of the Calgary area. We're gonna actually look at some stuff with our vans and help him get a few things fixed, hopefully on his that he's been having issues with. All right, well, I'm a bit frustrated right now. My cell phone, for some reason, is not connecting to any cell tower, although my Verizon hotspot is. I have no idea why. I've tried to reset my phone, I've tried everything, and it won't work. So I don't know if it's this area. It kind of did it a little bit last night, but it connected as I was moving. But what's weird is the hotspot is connecting to the bell tower, but my cell phone is not. So I don't know what's going on. Hopefully it resolves itself, but it's frustrating. We ran out of sunlight quickly. This is at my friend Mark's house. He's another Heimer owner. He's got a beautiful plot of land here. I officially had to retire my flip-flops, at least for a little bit, because it's cold and rainy. It got down into the 40s last night. It's a muddy mess out here. I'm really sorry I didn't actually get Mark on film last night. I got in really late, right around 8:30. I was supposed to be here around 3-ish because of that issue that I was dealing with the, gosh, my lenses are fogging up. The issue I was dealing with my cell phone, so it was a catastrophe. It took me 4 hours to get it fixed. I eventually, oh my gosh, I'm gonna take these off. I had to actually go to the Apple store and have them take a look at my phone, and they basically said I was gonna have to back it up and restore everything to factory settings. Taking the SIM card out didn't help, nothing helped. So it took me a little while to back it up, then restore it, and then actually make sure everything was working. I had to go back into the Apple store and sit there for a couple of hours to let everything update using their Wi-Fi, because I don't have Wi-Fi here. Well, I take that back. I do have Wi-Fi. I have my Verizon postpaid account still that's capped at half a gig a day. So I couldn't use that to update everything. I'd already used it up trying to fix the issue. We finally got that resolved, and guys, the internet in Canada is so much different than it is in the States. We should be very, very thankful that we have what we have in the United States. I went to Bell to see if I could get a data plan just for a couple of weeks while I was here in Canada, and it was 2 gigs for $55. 2 gigs. I'll blow through that in like a day. And you can't get an actual postpaid account here in Canada unless you're a Canadian citizen. And the prepaid amount for 2 gigs is the max that you can actually get on a prepaid. Max. You'd have to keep prepaying, I'm assuming, for more once you're done with the 2 gigs. But at $55 a day, I just couldn't do it. Yeah, that was a little bit of a mess. So be thankful in the United States for what you have. It's very, very different here. Even there, I inquired with Mark about his own cell phone account, and he gets 10 gigs of data per month to split between him and his family, and he pays over $300. $300 for 10 gigs on a cell phone plan. Ugh. So it's just very different. But we're gonna make do with it. Not all is lost. At least I got the phone working. I literally thought I might have to go back to the United States because there's no Verizon here, and my account is with Verizon, and I didn't know what I was gonna do until I get to Alaska, and I need a phone, and I need to have, you know, I run a business online, so it was a bit frustrating, I will say, but got it fixed. And you know, I look for a silver lining and everything, and interestingly I got here to Mark's and I was like, wow, there's snow on the ground over here, and he's like, nope, that's hail. And oh my god, my Texas accent came out again. Hail. It was hail that had just happened several hours before that, so I would have been driving at that time. This huge storm apparently came through, and so silver lining, phone was fixed, even though I had a little bit of a fiasco with it, but I missed a hailstorm. There you go. Alright, I'm headed into town. It's a very small little rural town over here. It's beautiful. It reminds me of what I would imagine England would be, where it's like these rolling hills of farmland and these little towns that are English names. Some of them are Norwegian, and it's just beautiful over here. So it's a rural town. I'm gonna head in. They do have a Tim Hortons over here. I'm gonna grab some coffee and see what they have for breakfast, maybe a bagel or something. But anyways, we're gonna get started, and we're headed to Dawson Creek today, which is the start of the Alaskan Highway. I'm so excited. Oh, and I wanted to show you one other thing. I don't know if you can see this, but I said something to you guys, I think in the last video, about my crack in the window. So it's kind of hard to tell with the raining here, but the crack, let me see if I can zoom in. There, you can see it. It starts right down here, and then it goes across, and then it ends there. Now, I was hoping that it wouldn't do that. Thankfully, my camera that I put up here, which is my Sony Action Cam that I film with when I'm driving, it is not obstructing the view of that, which is nice. So I thought I was actually going to need to replace the window before I left for Alaska, and I just got that window tinted. And it's a clear tint, but it blocks out like 80-something% of the UV rays, which is nice. Keeps the place nice and cool in here. But I just got it tinted. So that's highly unfortunate that the window cracked, and maybe I shouldn't have done that before I went to Alaska, but whatever, it is what it is. I was hoping that crack, you know, wouldn't go too far or obstruct the view of my camera. If it was going to obstruct the view of my camera, I was going to have to replace it before I went to Alaska. And I didn't want to do that in case I got more dings while I was in Alaska, which could happen. Given the roads and stuff there. So anyways, thankfully I haven't had to replace it. It looks like it's gonna stay down low, and then we're just gonna head to Alaska. If I have to replace it when I get there, then I will, but I think it'll be okay. So this gas station over here outside of Calgary doesn't seem that bad either for gas. It's $1.16 per liter. I paid $1.15-ish per liter when I just arrived to Alberta a couple of days ago. So it's not bad. It's gonna be somewhere right around like probably $3.30-ish a gallon. So the other one was like $3.27 a gallon for $1.15 per liter, and that's Canadian. It is cold and rainy out there, but couldn't leave this morning without getting my Tim Hortons coffee. And it even has the Canada maple leaf on it. It's actually really good coffee. I like it. I've been there to these Tim Hortons all over Canada when I was on the East Coast. We've got some road construction already. Muddy. But I've got my all-terrain tires, which seems to be handling well. Well, hopefully anything down there. That just like bottomed out. My underside. Yeeks, I think that was my eguard that it hit. Whew, we gotta pull over and look at that one. The road was a little divided there, and it was really high. Well, hopefully I didn't lose anything back there. Alright, well that really sucked. I looked under the RV and I think that it was only the skid plate or the eguard that got installed that hit that dirt. So it was really weird. All of a sudden, you know, my tires are in the ruts where all the other tires have been, but the middle strip between the tires was raised like a lot. And it's just like mud or compact dirt mud, whatever. But it's scraped. You probably heard it. Let's look under. Yep, it got scraped right there. I don't think I see anything else that got scraped. There's mud all in there. Nope. Not there. Not there. Okay. Well, as you can see, it took up some dirt from that dirt road. And it's in the eguard, but once I get to a place where I can wash the vehicle, we can get all that out. It'll eventually come out or dry up and just fall out. But had that eguard not been there, I don't know what would have happened to the underhood generator. That would have been a scary, scary thought. So I'm so thankful for that underhood generator that Gordon installed. So if you haven't installed that for your van, it's on the ProMaster 2500 chassis. I think it can be installed on other, maybe the 3500? Yeah, it can be installed on the 3500. But Gordon can tell you. We're at a rest stop outside of Whitecourt and in between Dawson Creek. We have about another hour and a half to Dawson Creek. It's a little windy out. It's been an interesting day, so if you want to see the dirt on the van, oh my god, it's getting dirty. She's never been this dirty before. And the tires, everything's dirty. I had to actually clean off the backup camera because it was so bad. Look at the back. Can you see all the dirt and grime? It's like brown instead of black. And the camera, which is up there, was dirty. I couldn't even see out of it. So when I stopped for gas, I cleaned it off. Oh, and guess what? Window cracked. The window cracked all the way. It was in the middle, right here, but now it's all the way down this way now. I'm glad it didn't actually start traveling up towards the video camera and up the middle of the glass, because then I'd have to really replace it. Come on, girl. You coming? Hi, girl. Well guys, I just had a really unfortunate problem happen. I was driving along and all of a sudden glass flew towards my body, and